for having me today. I'm going to be talking about how WordPress made my dreams come true. It truly transformed my life, and I hope that it will inspire you or someone that you know. I'm Kat. I work for the WooCommerce team. I've been working with WordPress for 10 years. She introduced me, I was previously a journalist, and we were introducing digital journalism, and that's something that I've been working with for 10 years before that. So it was come second nature to me, but something about WordPress and building websites was very unfamiliar. So today I'm going to tell you about my story and my dreams, how I made my dreams come true, resources for your own dreams, and then we're going to have a nice little slideshow about what I've been doing for the last 2 years. If we have time, then I would take questions, and if not, then you can come see me at the booth afterwards and talk to me, and I'm happy to say hi. So what's the story? I was living in Athens, Greece in 2007. I was living in a very bad apartment. It had no hot water. It had mold in the walls. The internet was very slow. My landlord used to harass me and used to try and spy on me and tried to track my movements when I was leaving and when I was coming back. And it got to be pretty unbearable because I was also, at the time, very unhappily married and we were not getting along, but because we were, both of us or one of us was unemployed, we could not move out of the house to separate places, and we had to stay as roommates together. I only had 15 euros a week for food. I didn't know where my next meal was coming from. And I was using a very old laptop that was 10 years old, and I was using a PC that my ex-husband had left behind, and I was trying to think of a way to change my life. And you would think, oh, well, she's American. She has advantages. That's not true, actually. When you live in Greece, if you're not Greek, you have discrimination. And also my parents had passed on, so I couldn't get help from them. And the only people that I could get help from were my friends, and they were the ones who ultimately helped me save myself. And what I realized during that time, after I discovered WordPress, is that everyone has something to give. Even when you are in the most desperate situation, you are not powerless. I had still something to give, and the gift that I had to give was to help people. And so it started from there. I wanted to help other people living in Greece just like me, but I didn't know how to do that. And I realized that there were Greek government websites that they weren't telling people a lot of information about bureaucracy or how to live their lives or improve their lives. And so I decided to start a website on WordPress.com. It was called American in Athens, named after myself. And it was at the beginning only getting about 10 hits a day. And as time went on, after the first month, it was getting 100 hits a day, and as 2 months went on, it was getting 1,000 hits a day. And I decided at that time that I think I'm going to move to self-hosted now. And that was really scary because I didn't know what a URL was, I didn't know what an FTP was, I didn't know HTML, I didn't know anything. And one of my readers was a developer, and he said, hey, I can help you do that. Do you want to learn? And I said, hey, yeah, I would. And he's like, but I'm not going to help you that much. You're going to break your own site, and you're going to fix your own site. And I said, ooh, that sounds scary. And he said, yeah, it is, but that's the way you learn. And I think that I learned a lot from that. So back then, I moved to self-hosted. I changed the name to livingingreece.gr, which is still online right now. It gets 14,000 hits a day, which is kind of a lot. I don't maintain it anymore because I don't live in Greece anymore, but we'll come back to that later. So, did it just, okay. It cut out just for a second. So back then I used to help thousands, and now today with Automattic I help millions of people. And so if you have a passion, it can start small and then it can grow. So how did I do this? So I started with a site, and from this site I also got 40,000 Twitter followers. And I didn't even try. I just disseminated news from this. I curated news and gave people the best stories. And from this, The Guardian UK asked me to write for them. I never replied. They came to my site and asked me. And then from this, I got a book deal. I never even asked for this, and I'd never even dreamed of it, but it was coming now too, just because I had a site, and I had my own identity, and I could prove to people that I could write, and then I had something to say, and I had something to share, and I was helping people. And then eventually, I got away from journalism, and I discovered WooCommerce. And I built e-commerce sites because there were a lot of people with brick and mortar stores in Greece that were looking to expand their market, but they didn't know how to do that. And they wanted to build e-commerce stores and sell to the world. And so I taught myself how to do this. And that's how I discovered WooCommerce, and that's how I discovered WooThemes. WooThemes were looking for a support person that could write documentation half-time. And I decided, hey, I think I can do that. And then they hired me. And 2 months later, Automattic acquired us. And that was both scary and also exciting at the same time, because out of that, I am now a full-time docs writer. This is a position that was created for me. It did not exist before. They saw how passionate I was about helping people and that I could do what they were asking, and they made this job for me. And so now I'm a pioneer, and I hope that other people will come behind me. So how did I do it? If you find your passion and your motivation, you can keep going under any circumstances. And everyone has a gift, and everyone has talent. You have to state what you want. You have to be courageous and say, not just say it like verbally, but I mean write it down and say, I want these things. And you have to have a strategy. You have to have a plan. And that plan also has to be specific, because if it's not, you can just get anything. And just getting anything isn't good enough. And then you also have to take action. Things will not come to your doorstep. You have to do something every day that works toward those dreams. And what I found so incredibly useful, even on the days that were incredibly hard, was I had gratitude for everything that I owned or was given to me. I had a roof over my head. I had friends. I had love. I had heating most times. I had water. I had something to eat. I had my health. These are all beautiful things to be grateful for. And if you are grateful for the small things, you'll be even more grateful when the big things happen. And another thing that's important, which I will talk about later in the last part of my talk, is the filter. And what I mean by that is that there were some people who will tell you that your dreams are too big. And there are some people who will strike you down and try to discourage you. And you need to understand that they come from a very well-meaning place, but you also need to keep focused on what you want and who you are. So this isn't going to make sense, I know, and it's really small, but this is the sheet that I used to write down everything that I wanted. And I keep it with me because I remember how I got to where I am, and I never forget that. So I wrote down everything that I'm passionate about. I wrote all of my talents down. I wrote everything that I have to give. I wrote things that I want in my everyday workday, and what I can give to other people. And this sheet is the most important thing to me. I looked at this every day. On the left side, I wrote down everything that I wanted in a job. and it was very specific about what that was. And on the right side, I wrote down everything that I wanted in my life. And everyone said, no, that's impossible. You shouldn't do that. You need to lower your expectations. And I said, I'm not going to do that. So how did I get there? And anyone in this room can do what I did. All you have to do is be passionate, take action, and do something. And these were the resources that I used. I used a book that helped me. I used a resume. Oops. I also went to a weekly support group where we were only allowed to talk about positive things, and we could keep each other accountable to the things that we said we were going to do the week before. And you can do this with your friends too, but sometimes it's best to do it with people that you don't know very well, because they will have no mercy on you. And I used Code Academy, Coursera, and I also used meetup.com to meet with other people, to network, to make connections. And of course I used WordPress. You knew that was coming, right? And so this is everything that I've done in the last 2 years. I've seen Sweden. I've surfed in the Canary Islands. I've been in Prague. I've been in Berlin, Vienna, Croatia, London, San Francisco, my hometown, which I had not seen in 10 years because I could not afford a plane ticket. I could now do that. Lisbon. And I love to surf too, so I just throw that in there. Morocco, Dubai, Cape Town, Ireland, Canada, the Netherlands, Miami, Sri Lanka, Barcelona last month, Belgium this week, and now I'm in Kathmandu. And to be here with you is a very big gift to me, because yesterday I went on the mountain flight with my colleague Rich, and I was thinking about how lucky we are to work for Automattic, because they trust us to get our work done and to work remotely, and that means that we can come here and share knowledge with you and be with you. We don't have to quit our jobs, and we don't have to take vacation. They support us in these things, and they want us to do these things. And so we can fly over Everest at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we can still come to WordCamp later the next day. Last year, because of working remotely and working for Automattic, I was able to spend my birthday in Vienna. And you'll see Rich, actually, if you know my colleague Rich, who spoke earlier today, he's the second on the right. And also on my birthday, we went indoor skydiving, and Rich was there too. That was the first day I met him. And we made him go first because he was a new guy. And also because of that, I went on safari in South Africa. My colleague Dwayne and his wife said, "Put away your laptop, it's noon now." And I said, "What does that mean?" He said, "Well, that means we're going somewhere." Can you tell me where? No. And 3 hours later, we were on safari. And it was beautiful. And I think I cried that day because I just realized how lucky I am. So I just want to tell you something. There are people who will tell you that your dreams are impossible and that you should lower your expectations and you need to settle for less. And I'm telling you, you shouldn't do that. Because when I got everything that I wanted. And when I got everything I wanted, they told me it was luck. And I'm telling you that it's not luck. Because adversity made me strong, WordPress gave me opportunities, and love and friendship made me fly. So don't let anyone steal your dream. Thank you. I'm Kat.